I'm into transportation. My company is called LCS Freight. Been in business since 2003. Started out in Montreal. I moved over to Edmonton, and I've been here since 2008. I've learned a lot, made quite a bunch of mistakes along the way, but hey, still here trying to get it done.
That's awesome. So you said you started in 2003 in Montreal, and 2008 you went up to Edmonton.
Yeah.
All right. So in Montreal, that's when the actual freight thing started, or was it?
That is where it all started in Montreal. So, maybe just a brief history there. I started out with a company called Canbeck.
Okay.
And actually, that company is still there even up to today. So I was using I remember I was using a 1998 Dodge Caravan when I started. Yeah, so I was using a Dodge Caravan, 1998. It was a beater, and one thing that amazed me at that time is I used to make $600 a week, and to me that was a lot at the time. So it was a lot at the time, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm making a lot of money here, but you quickly learn that there are guys who make that in a day, right? So yeah, that's how I started. So I was with that company for half a year, and then I moved on to DHL.
DHL.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is still in Montreal?
This is still in Montreal. So I was with DHL up until 2008 in April when I moved to Edmonton.
Okay.
So I came here, Edmonton. That's where I still am at right now. And I did DHL, and then I learned from other guys that you never push only one hustle. If you can push 5, you go for 5. If you can push 2, you do that. So I ventured out into FedEx, and I joined FedEx, did FedEx and DHL at the same time, but it wasn't really working out that well. So I still making a lot of mistakes. So I stopped FedEx and went to Purolator.
Oh.
So I was with Purolator and DHL until 2009. And in 2009, that's where I went out on my own, looked for my own customers, and I have never looked back since then.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's a great story right there. And I guess one of the first questions that comes into my mind, what does LCS even mean?
Very simple. It's when it started, it was Lungani Courier Services.
Okay.
But then, as time went on, it morphed, and it became logistics and courier services. Because now, not only do I offer a courier service, I also do logistics. So we do same day shipments within Edmonton.
Okay.
And all of Alberta. So same day. We can do Edmonton and Alberta. We are able to do next day in Alberta and anywhere in Canada and the US.
Wow.
Right. But I should say that this is not just me alone. So I was able to team up with some other guys in the industry who have got muscle and some deep pockets. So we were able to team up, and where I could not reach, they can reach. Where they cannot reach, I can reach. So it became a mutual partnership, and that has been my belief that if you want to go on a journey, you can go alone. But if you want to go the distance, you can take someone with you, and you'll be able to go the distance.
Okay, you sound like our own Zimbabwean Jeff Bezos over here.
Without a lot of zeros on it, though.
Okay, no, that's good, man. That's good. So, what would you say is the mission of your company in general?
The mission of our company really is to take the transportation industry to the next level. Now, a lot of it is conventional, right? The shipping companies are the bosses, right? Everyone is at the mercy of the shipping companies. But lately, with the rise of technology, we're at a point where it's now the shared economy. And that means the guy who's in the truck driving is the king, right? So if I have a truck and I'm in the truck, I can control how much I can charge for that truck. And it's not the shipping company that does that. So the vision now is to transform our shipping industry from what it is conventionally to the model which they call the shared economy model. Shared economy is simply what it means. If you have a truck and I'm the company, I come and negotiate with you and ask for space in your truck. And you don't have to work only for me. You can do my stuff, you can do anyone else's stuff, and you utilize your vehicle to the maximum. So that is where we are trying to take this whole thing to at the moment.
Okay. That's awesome stuff, man. So what made you start your own company? You kind of referenced that, things were kind of looking good, and then on 2009 you started your own company. What was like? Was there a moment where you're like, you know what, I'm fed up with this, working for somebody, or something that pushed you over the edge?
Before I started in the career, I used to work for a textile company, and it was one of the biggest letdowns was when I was being asked to do overtime. Now, I hated doing overtime because I'll put in the hours, and then the taxman will come and chew that off, right?
Yeah.
And then I had a boss right on my back all the time. Hey, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So I found that in order for me to excel and to do what I had to do, I wouldn't be able to do it working for somebody else. Yeah. So for me, that was the switch that flicked there, and I was like, you know what? Let me try it out. Right? And like every other business, there's no guarantees. You try it, it might work, it might not work, but you got to be prepared to have a steep learning curve there.
All right, that's great. So once you decided, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, start my own company. How was that journey? If you want to take us in a little bit more detail, what were the challenges like? If someone, like, let's say someone wants to kind of get into the same type of business, and they want to have an idea of what goes on in the beginning.
Contrary to the prevailing belief that you got to have deep pockets to start, this line of work, I've found that it's very, very easy to start. Very, very easy. You don't have to spend much to start. For example, if you get a contract, say with a company like ProKonnect, right? All you need to do is to buy a vehicle, right? You have to buy a vehicle. You don't have to go and look for customers and do some sales. They already have their customers.
Okay.
So you piggyback on that, and you cultivate relations with those customers. And as everything else goes, the customer service is the blood of it. So that was one thing that I learned, where I got to learn how to deal with people, right? How to price your product, know what things need to be done in order to get someone to be satisfied with your service. So And like I said, when I started, I hadn't done it before, so it was quite it was quite a steep learning curve. Then made a lot of mistakes, screwed up quite a bit, and got in lots of trouble along the way. But hey, I kept at it. I was willing to learn. I asked a lot of questions from the guys who were in it, and some of them were gracious to share that information, and it went from there, and over time, it began to pay off.
Okay, that's good, man. That's good. I guess you just mentioned something about having to ask for help from other people. How helpful are people out there when you're in this kind of business? Because I imagine it can be quite competitive out there.
Yeah, competition is cutthroat because everybody is clamoring for the same customer, and it all comes down to how you price your service. Now, the help that I got was from. I'm not saying that everyone I approached helped me. Other guys were like, you know what, go figure, right? But there are guys, and these are guys in our community, fortunately, that were able to say, hey, if you want to get into this thing, start at this level. Don't bite more than you can chew. And you begin, the first thing you learn is customer service. So there are guys who will give you a job. Like, for example, I did drive for a friend, and he taught me customer service. He taught me how to handle the freight. And then with time, he also taught me how to do pricing. Yeah. So at the end of the day, there are people who can help. But I must say, and to anyone who's out there listening, this one is not our strongest suit as a people. We are not keen to help each other. And I find that when we do not do that, we lose out on a lot of things that we can do together as a community and as a people.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge. And I also try to do the same as well, that whenever I'm able to, I can help someone who needs help in any way I am able to.
Yeah, and you're right, man. Like, I honestly lament our community. We suck at helping each other. We're very good at tearing each other down, but wow, helping each other, it's almost like, oh man, if they give you their trade secrets, they're gonna just take it down.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And we may, just to jump in also there, there's one thing that I also learned, that when you get into this thing, never do it to compete. Like compete, there's the general competition where it's business, right? So you compete for the business. But your measure of success should not be what you use to compete with someone else. You do that, you are destined for the rocks, for sure.
That's true. Man, you seem like you got a second career as a philosopher, and just talking to people, talking some sense into a lot of people, man. Because we have a lot of those, a lot of problems, because we like to compete with each other over useless things, and I don't, it won't get us too far, unfortunately. You mentioned there that you have to buy a vehicle and whatnot, and then you said you started off with the Dodge Caravan from 1998. Is there a specific type of vehicle that really can help you? And is there, a size that kind of, matters when it comes to logistics and whatnot?
Now, it depends where you want to start from, right? But I would say, there are people who join in, start out, and they have the financing to start it. So if you're starting from there, your ball game is a little bit different, because you are able to get your hands onto whatever kind of equipment. But if you're starting from zero and you're pulling yourself by your bootstraps, get a vehicle that is the least expensive. Man, that's number one. You get the least expensive vehicle, but of course in good shape, Now, how I did it, and I'm not saying by any means that how I did it is the way everyone does it, but just sharing here. So I was able to get an old vehicle to start out, and I was able to change it within a year and upgrade it. So you are able to start out with less risk that you are going into it with. Because if you go off and spend 20 grand on a vehicle and you are learning a new thing, you are not going to make enough money to service that debt. And a lot of guys have fallen by the wayside because they have overspent at the beginning, and then they are not getting a much return to keep going.
All right. Another question that kind of relates to the competition, like I've been following along with, with the guys like Amazon coming in, and they're also getting their own little courier services and whatnot. How has that changed your industry so far, in the logistics? And have you actually started to feel the difference with Amazon coming in? Because I know they're really pushing, to get a chunk of that freight market and whatnot, and do their own thing without having to get contracts out there.
Amazon is killing it, I must say, in a good but it's in two ways. Now, what they're doing is they have opened up an opportunity where individuals can come in and start their own business within Amazon.
Okay.
Now, that's the good part. So you are able to go in, and I think in the US, that's where I saw it, with as little as 20 grand, they will help you start up with 3 vehicles in the US.
Wow.
Right. That's Amazon there, yeah, because they co-sign, and they have competitive rates on insurance and all that operating authority stuff. So that's the good part. So they give you a leg up in starting. If you are in the US, if anybody's in the US listening, check out Amazon. You'll be able to get a head start there. However, because Amazon does not yet have their full fleet functioning everywhere, so you find that they use these courier companies that are already there, the DHLs, the FedEx, UPS. But the problem with that is they are so big and they control the prices to the point that the driver doesn't make much. Is it? Because they go with volumes. So they have changed our industry, because everybody will say, okay, these guys are charging so much, so let's drop all the rates of the freight to kind of be competitive with them. So now that's the bad part of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's the good and the bad with Amazon, hey? Like everyone's complaining about Amazon. Jeez.
In my opinion, though, I think it's only a matter of time, because what we kind of experience in transportation is that the bigger the outfit, the more rigid is their operating framework. For example, anytime my customer calls, right, and says, hey, I've got something moving, and they close at 5 and it's 4. If they can wait for me, I'll come and get it. Right? But if you go to big companies, they have a cutoff and it's earlier in the day. They'll tell you, we don't take orders after 1 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So they have it good for now. But what we have seen over time is that when you grow, you get to experience that kind of rigidity in your operations, and it usually makes for it. That's where small guys like us come in, and we are able to provide better service than the big guys.
All right. So you gotta be flexible. That's the key, eh?
Flexibility, that's the key. Yeah.
All right. Before I even get too far here, we've got a question from one of our viewers here. They're just asking you to remind us what the mission statement is for LCS.
Mission statement.
Yes, please.
Now you're asking me to make one up right now. But I do have a vision, right? My personal vision that has been driving me all along is that we want to be at the cutting edge of of the revolution in the transportation, because we want to take back that control from these big companies, put it in the hands of the drivers and the truck owners, and push the shared economy model to new heights, where you can be anywhere in the city and you can get your delivery done within an hour.
Okay.
That's the vision. So we are pushing the boundaries on efficiency and also on what the customers pay. For example, if you are halfway in the city, if let's take, for example, I don't know where everyone is, but let's just say the center of the city is where the downtown core is, right? If you are shipping something from the middle of the city to the extreme, let's say south, you will find that right now you will get charged the same as when you are shipping the same thing across the city from one end to the other. Now that is not fair, because you are paying more than you are supposed to be paying when things are happening. Are not going the distance. So what we're also pushing is now customers pay by distance. You pay for the distance. If you are moving 2 city blocks, which is only a mile, you are not going to pay the same rate as if you are going 10 miles.
All right. So you're moving towards the Uber thing. You guys have become like Uber, what?
You know, one of my partners actually drove for Uber, and he got this idea out of them. And when we introduced it, it stuck.
Oh, that's awesome, man. You owe Uber some royalties out of that one, then.
Well, I think they owe us back home with the Mchovas and those taxis. That's where they got.
That's true. That's true. 100%. They owe us that. I wonder where they got all the ideas from. All right, so take us through a typical day. Like, let's go for example, a Monday. What's a typical day like?
Typical day, I'm out of the house at 3 a.m.
Oh, hold up. In the morning.
In the morning, I'm out of the house at 3 a.m. because now you are tailoring your operations to what the customer needs. So you have customers that have drivers starting at 6 in the morning, so they want their freight ready to go. So my first move is at 4 in the morning. And from there, after that will take, it's 2 stops that take up 3 truckloads. And we are done around 6. And then I drive one of those trucks because I still believe I'm a driver. So I still love driving. But after that, I am in the office. And I do dispatching and coordinating of the movement in the city. So by 8 o'clock, I'm in the office. I'm dispatching. So we have now LCS has 3 vehicles of our own, and we have an extra 4 that our partner has. So between those vehicles, we are just coordinating the flow in the city. And these are dedicated guys. Now, beside those 7 vehicles, we have a team of freelance guys that are not working with us for, let's say, on a full-time basis, but as and when they are available. And we have got 60 of those just in Edmonton.
Wow.
That's from small vehicles like your compact cars to semis. So it's calls coming in, everything moving. A regular call is 3 hours. So we have a 3-hour window to pick something and get it delivered. Okay. If it's a rush, it's 2 hours. And if it's a direct, it's 1 hour or less. So that's what happens from 8 a.m. until we get to around 5:30. And then after that, everything kind of quiets down but now we are dealing with the paperwork of everything that happened during the day. So we are putting the invoices together, we're pricing them out, because our drivers get paid every week. We believe that you don't want to hang on to people's money. So every Friday, guys get paid. So we're working on that on a daily basis at the end of the day. And then around 6:30, we are putting in the orders for the next day. And I'm probably on my way home. I've got some other folks that help me do that. But then at that time, I'm probably talking to a customer who's not in Edmonton. Most likely, actually, most prevalently, it's guys who are in a different time zone. And they are just, the automated system gets in orders. So even when I get back home, I have about a couple hours of work to do, and my day quiets down around 10:30, 11.
So which part of the day do you get to sleep here? Because, man, it doesn't sound like you're doing much sleeping here.
This is the interesting part of owning a business. You have to be ready to do that trade-off, right? To put it plainly, you do not have a life, right? Because you have to watch everything that is going on. You have to be able to answer when a question comes, when a customer is making an inquiry. So you gotta be on top of it. You have, of course, there is a team that helps us out, but at the end of the day, when my phone rings, I have to be able to answer. So it's a lot of work, but the good thing is that at the end of the day, when you look back at what you've done and what you've accomplished, I think it's better than the 8 hours going to clock and work for somebody else.
That's true. That's true. And just to reiterate something for the ladies out there, if you're dating a guy from the courier service, Friday nights, Friday evenings, those guys are paid. So remember that. Now we know. LCS, people are paid every Friday. Thanks for that.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, so you'll be expecting some calls on Friday. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work, man. It sounds like a lot of dedication that someone just put in there, man. The day that's 3 a.m. in the morning, and goes on right till 10:30. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
And then one would say, when do you have time for family and anything else?
Well, that is where you wish a day had 27 hours, but that's the kind of life, especially what we've come to realize in the first world. Everything happens fast. Everything needs your 100% attention. Some things suffer, I must say, yeah. But it comes with the territory, right? You may have time for family. You have to create time, though. That's the thing. And the good part of about being self-employed is that you can take time off whenever you want to take time off, right? So that's the good part about it. But I must say that if you're anyone who gets into it, and this is not to scare anybody, but you know, I look at it as an interesting challenge. You will have to learn how to manage time. If you're not organized, you will be working 24/7, right? So my rule of thumb, and this is a friend of mine back in Toronto who told me this. He said, if you have done everything humanly possible that you can do, then if anything goes wrong, I mean, it's beyond your power. Even if you are up trying to fix it, you wouldn't fix it anyways. So I've tried to implement that and to help my customers understand that it's human beings that are working and that have lives and families. Mm-hmm. So we try to keep that work balance pretty steady. And for the team that drives all the time, what we say to them is, if you don't feel like working, let us know. We will get you covered, so you can take time to do whatever you need to do. You don't have to explain anything. That's the thing. So what we do now in the morning, I just look at the dashboard. and we have a delivery app that runs off everybody's phone. So when you wake up and you are ready to work, you log on. And when you're logged on and you're online, we know you're ready to work. So we'll give you work. If you don't feel like working and you switch off your phone and you're not logged on, then we know you're not working today. So there's no questions there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting system you guys got going there. So let's say I'm one of those drivers. I'm like, okay, today I'm not coming to work, and then you say there's no questions. Does that mean I have a job tomorrow, or?
Yeah, yes, you do. And this is where, because we don't look at drivers as employees. They are our partners, right? They have the vehicle. They have their businesses as well. So what we try to do with them is when they're not coming on, that's fine. We say to them, you work when you're able to. And that has also made us to make sure we have a lot of guys on the team that if somebody is not working today, we're able to pull somebody else to cover that.
Okay, that's pretty smart. There was a question here that I had earlier on. What kind of skills are required? Is there a certain level of education that you need to have to be able to, to handle, owning your own logistics business and being able to, deal with these challenges? And is there certain, skills that you can attain in the future as you go on that can, help you as you grow?
Again, this is going to be my philosophy, and it may work for some and it may not work for everybody. But for me, the best skill set you can ever have is a positive attitude.
Okay.
A can-do attitude. For someone who has a positive attitude, they can you can teach them anything and they can do anything, right? So you can walk off the street and you can do this and you can be very, very successful at it if you have the right attitude. Now, of course, now we have, based on regulation and what one may be transporting at the time, but you'll find that there are some requirements for training. Let's say if you're transporting dangerous goods or stuff like that, you have to have some training there. Or depending on what kind of equipment you're operating, you wanna be able to operate that. But besides your licenses and all that, really, just get a positive attitude and you can do it. It's very easy.
All right. And then a very controversial question. I'm sure every business owner hates hearing this. And I know you're gonna say, well, if it wasn't the case, I wouldn't be doing it. But I'm sure everyone's just dying to know this. Can I be a millionaire out of this, man? Is there money to be made in this business? Like major money?
Yeah. There are millionaires that are doing this.
So how many years from now can we contact you saying, let's go, let's buy, when are we buying the yacht? When are we getting that big mansion? If you don't have one already. Maybe I'm talking to a guy who's got a yacht already and I'm kind of behind.
Let's talk next time this year. I'll let you know.
Okay. I'll be waiting for that invite for sure. I'll be waiting for that invite. Okay. So another question here. What would you say has been the biggest challenge? I mean, I know there's some crazy government regulations when it comes to transport and whatnot, and what you can do, and having employees and all that stuff. What has been your biggest challenge, and how did you manage to overcome
that? Well, government-wise, I think the government has given everybody a fair shake at doing anything and doing this here in Canada. So I'm very grateful for that. But the greatest thing that I've seen is being a minority. And don't get me wrong, folks that are listening here.
Oh boy.
You know, it's something that is just under the surface. That in order for you as a minority to do to get, let me just say, okay, to get a contract, right? You have to prove 10 times than somebody else. And that just gets to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because the hoops that we have to jump are ridiculous. Right. And you know, this has been my greatest disappointment, because it's something that is not out there. You can't point at it, you can't see it, but you will feel it when you deal with when you deal with these things every day, right? So this has been my greatest pain. But again, it is a challenge. It's not impossible to overcome. And I bring back to the same forum like this one, that we can only deal with these things if we can help each other, right? Mm-hmm. If we connect like how we're doing on this platform, if we can help each other, if you hear something and you let somebody know, we can overcome these things. It's very easy to overcome it, because what we have to offer once we're in there, the work ethic that we have as a people, nobody has it.
That's true.
Right. And customers, once they see that, once they get to know who we are and what we can do, they love us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So that being said, is there like I don't know how I can phrase this for more adequately. Is there like a particular thing that you specialize in, you know, delivering, or are you just a carte blanche type of operation?
Well, I move everything. Right now we are venturing into construction equipment, the big moves. But really, if I can make money out of it, I'll never say no. That's the thing. Yeah, because especially here in Alberta, everything is oil based, right? I mean, 90% of it is oil based. So you're dealing with stuff that is dangerous goods. You're dealing with you know, volatile liquids or compounds that are being shipped around. So if you get choosy, you will find that the day that industry goes slow, you are going to shut your doors.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So we've tried to move everything. So for example, right now we do have stuff for the oil field. We do automotive parts. You know these guys, these parts distributors, dash distributors or bumper to bumper, those kind of guys. So we do stuff for them. We have lawyers that we move the envelopes for. So I find the guys that have small vehicles, they are just doing you know, lawyer stuff to the other offices or into the courthouse. So we want to touch everything. And next time when you are moving your trailer, we can move it. You can call us. We'll move it for you.
Speaking of which, I'm moving next week, so if you guys don't mind, I'm more than happy. I'm not looking for a long drive. You know, I'll give you a call.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you a call. All right. So this is more from, I guess, a general question. Like, since it's all Black History Month and all, and you've kind of, you know, touched on the subject a little bit, that, you know, as a minority, there's, you know, you have to try work 10 times as hard just to, you know, get an equal share of the pie there. What's your advice to other minorities who are also looking to get into the business? 1, 2, and what's your advice? Just get into that particular business, and what advice do you have for minorities who are looking to be, you know, business owners in general, even just outside of the freight market as well?
This is my my motto every day. If somebody else can do it, I probably can do it 10 times better than them. Oof. Right? Because sometimes we subconsciously allow our status as minority to get the best of us and to become a barrier. But I would encourage anybody that one thing that we have going for us, and I say this again, is our work ethic. We've got a lot of lazy folks out there that are in places where they are just not supposed to be because they are just lazy. Right? But I would say to us, let us get out there. Let's do what we can. And you lose nothing by trying. Let's try. And you'll be amazed at the things that you'll be able to do by just trying. And don't be afraid to fail. You will fail. And I mean, that's okay, right? We are not judged by our failures, but what we do with those failures, right? So I would say to our people, let's be bold, right? Let's network. We are all one people. We are friends. We are family. Let's network. Let's pull each other on the way up. And, let's not be afraid to work hard. And it pays off. Don't allow this thing, people with prejudices, don't allow that to scare you. Let them with their prejudice, and you get on with your hustle and do what you need to do. And we can do it. If anybody else can do it, ain't nothing special with us. We can do it too.
That's the spirit right there. As I said, man, you have an extra side hustle that you're not really tapping into here, man. You could be preaching at the schools right here, just telling those kids, get your shit together and, do it. Motivational speaker right there, man. I think you kind of covered for most of our questions here. Do you have any last final closing question, remarks, or anything you want to throw out there to the people? There's not too much here in the way of questions in the comment section, as you pretty much covered everything. People are loving this.
Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me on, and to all the folks that tuned in, thanks for sharing your evening with us to get to know what we are doing. I would say let's use this kind of platform to share ideas and to connect and get stuff done together. I am willing to share. I may not have the answers to all your questions, but if I can help you out with what I know of what I've heard or connect you to somebody else, I think we can help each other that way. Not only do you benefit, but I will benefit from that as well, because who knows where you can take me to, right? So we get there by connections. It's a cliche, but it's not your qualification. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So I think all of us are in here in our various places of hustling. We can connect each other and let's get it done, guys.
Yeah, this is true, man. This is true. Like, I hope people are really taking this message to heart, man, because this is some deep words. It's so true. It's not even funny. We need to network. People are not using, they're not using their resources. People are not out there to help each other, and we need to help each other. We have a lot of people who are doing great things, and we don't know about it, and we're just too scared to try these things. So I'm happy that you're, tapping into this and you're telling people to the right direction. That being said, man, I really, really appreciate this so much. Forgive me for this part. I didn't actually look online. I meant to look up your company online. Are we able to access you online for anything logistics related, or do we have to call you? Is there a way we can get in touch with you?
You mean is it just for shipping purposes?
Yes, for shipping purposes.
Okay, so we are operating out of the website. It's Complete Shipping Solutions. Okay. That's the partner that we are working with. You are going to find Complete Express. So Complete Shipping Solutions is if you want to ship big stuff or those heavy loads. But if you're looking for stuff, mid-size stuff, same day, which is where you'll find LCS, go up to completeexpress.ca, completeexpress.ca, and if you want to be a driver too, you can find the link there. If you want to ship anything anywhere in the world, you'll find the link there as well. And if not, I can off the air, I can give you my number, and we can you can share it there, or hit me up on here on Instagram, Mfana Gatube, and we can see how we can help each other out.